If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. So, what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video guys, we do have my updated 3-4-2-1 custom tactics and player instructions. Since you guys enjoyed them so much last time around, probably one of the best performing videos I've had in a while. You guys seem to really love your tactics, and I suppose that's fine. The game is formatted for that, and yeah, we're going to go through the tactics, the instructions, and then we might play a game or so to wrap up the video. But yeah, that's basically it. Just before we get into the video guys, would appreciate it as always if you can drop it a thumbs up. It does really help me out with the YouTube search. Also sub to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos, of course, and then don't forget to turn on notifications. And yeah, with all that aside guys, let's get right into the video. Hope you enjoy. Alright then guys, so starting off with the Ratty custom tactics. They are pretty similar to most setups we have in this game, but that's just because this game's extremely linear and you have very limited setups you can use. If I'm being honest with you, you know, the balanced direct passing thing, for example, is pretty much same old, but you know, you have to make do with what we've got, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just going to quickly run through them for you now. So defensive style guys, we have it on balanced, as I think it does give us the best control over our defenders. You know, when you want to press, you can. When you want to drop off and maybe be a bit more passive, you can also do that. So I really like balance. You guys might want to use something else, and that is absolutely fine, but I would highly recommend balance guys. Now for the width guys, usually for a lot of formations I will actually use 45, but I've actually lowered it down to 40 for this one, and I will explain why. But yeah, before I tell you why I've got 40, the sweet spot or the best range you can have for the defensive width, I would say is from 40 to 50. Now the reason I suggest this personally is because it does give you a nice narrow and compact defense to block out all of those attacks through the middle, but when your opponent goes down the wing, you also have enough width to cover the wider areas as well, so your opponent can't just run down the wing and cook you down there. Now the reason I have it on 40 is because this defends in a back 5, which means we naturally already have a bit more width because we have 5 players in the defense instead of 4, so we already have a bit more coverage, which means we can lower this number a little bit just to make it a bit tighter, a bit more compact. But I would recommend 40 to 50, but again, you guys can do what you want. Now for the depth guys, there are multiple options you can use. One of the most popular ones people use in this game is the 71 depth. The reason people like this so much is because the game basically defends for you guys. You know, the AI will mark pretty much everybody on the pitch. The middle of the pitch will become extremely congested, making it extremely difficult to play through that press that is being given by the AI, so you know, opponents hate it. And it's also very good at assisting those that maybe have lesser defending ability. If you're somebody like me that's played this game for a while, you know, played FIFA for years, and you're pretty confident in your defensive ability, you might not want this. You might want to have a bit more control, which is why I'd suggest something more like 65. So you still have that higher depth, you still have that, you know, that higher defensive line. You just have more control over when you press, you know, because the AI is not always doing it for you. So you feel like you're a bit more in control and you can defend a bit more how you want to. If this is still too high for you guys, you can lower it even more. You know, there's no real correct depth. You know, it's pretty much about what your preference is, how you play, and what you need from this setting. So yeah, just pick what is the best for you. Now for the build-up play guys, I always recommend balance. This is one of the most important ones in my opinion, because it's the only one which will actually give you, you know, decent attacking AI when you're building up the play. For example, even if you like to build up slowly guys, slow build-up is terrible. It's really bad because it just slows your players down, not in a good way. You know, it doesn't give you more options, doesn't make it easier to build up slower, just means your AI moves around slower, which is actually terrible. You know, it's very predictable, so you don't want that. The same way with fast build up, your players just move around like maniacs. They're not productive, they don't really give you passing options, it's just chaotic. So I suggest balance because it's the best for each type of build up, and it's just better than all these settings. Now for the chance creation guys, if there is an absolute must in this video, then it is this, direct passing. The reason direct passing is so important is because it's the only chance creation setting which will allow you to consistently break down the park the bus AI that is in FC24. When you use direct passing guys and your opponent is parking the bus, what will happen is your attacker will make this run movement. So they'll make a direct run, and then once that defender has followed the run that the attacker has made and then overcommitted to it, the attacker will then track back. So then there is space between that defender defender and the attacker, meaning you can pass across to them or cut back to them. So, you know, this is why it's called Cutback FC24. But yeah, this is the only way to consistently beat the AI, and it is very important to use it because you're not really going to be able to score otherwise. Now, for the attacking width, guys, again, you can pretty much use what you want for this. All you really need to know when it comes to this is the lower the width, the more narrow your attack. The higher the width, the wider your attack. So because we want to, you know, utilize the width with the right mid and left mid, for example, we don't want to make this width too low, in my opinion, and I also don't want to make it crazy wide. So 60's been decent for me, but if this is still too high for you, you can lower it. You know, it's not that important, to be honest. Now, for the players in the box, I have this on 7. This is quite aggressive. We do get a few players into that penalty area, but obviously we don't go all the way because we still need some players back in case we lose the ball, because we don't always want to get counter-attack, guys. For the corners, we have them on 2, and this is so, again, we can cross the ball in if we want, and we have a couple of players there, or we can also play it short, and again, we don't overcommit. And then for the free kicks, because I don't really cross them, or, you know, if I want to pass it, I'll just play it short. I don't really need many players in the box. I just have it on 1, so I get minimal counter-attacks against me. Now, for the player instructions, guys, pretty basic, to be honest with you, and they'll make sense when we go through them. So for these 3 forwards, all of them, we have them on stay central and get in behind. We have stay central to keep them all in those narrow channels. You know, we don't really want them covering those wider areas. We need them to be in the middle because this is the danger zone. It sets up a bit like you know, the way these forwards are formatted is like the 4-3-2-1 is what I was trying to say. You know, that triangle, the very hard to defend triangle. So you don't really want to mess that up. Stay central, getting behind keeps them in that very hard to mark area, and we also have the you know, the right mid and the left mid to cover the wider areas, which we'll get onto in a moment. So stay central and getting behind, so your players are always making runs and they stay in those more narrow channels. Now, moving on to the right mid and left mid, like we said, why this formation is so ratty and is actually called a back 5, even though it's technically a back 3, but you know what I mean, is because we put them on these comeback on defense settings. So when you put the right mid and left mid in a 3-back formation on the comeback on defense instruction, it will make it defend in a back 5. You know, these players will come back as wing backs, so it will actually defend as a back 5, which is why it's so ratty. So it's very important to do this to ensure that you are very good defensively. I suggest using very competent fullbacks or, you know, decently defensive attackers, if that makes sense. Somebody that's pretty good at doing attack and defense in these possessions, because, you know, they're going to have to do a bit of everything. So comeback and defense, very important. We have them on stay wide because, like I said, we have that front 3 on the stay central instruction, so these players can stay out wider to hug the sidelines and things like that and give you that wider option. You know, this is the main width of the team, so you don't really want these players coming inside because they're better off out wide. They're also supposed to be on getting behind, but again, my settings didn't save because this game's terrible, so they will make the runs down the line. If they're right mids and left mids, they can be very static on mixed attack, so you don't want that. And then get into the box for cross as well, so they don't hesitate in getting into the penalty area if they're around it. But again, don't worry too much about that if you don't want it on. So yeah, it's the left mid and the right mid. You can have these on balanced. It doesn't matter all that much. Now, for the right centre mid, I use more of a stay back player. So on this player, it's to bring balance in the midfield because we don't want them both going forward. Otherwise, we'll be screwed if we lose the ball. So on one of them, stay back, cover centre. You know, we don't want him going forward. We need that balance, like I said. And then we want him to cover the middle because we obviously have the right mid and left mid to cover the wider areas. And then for the left centre mid, somebody that's going to have a bit more of a free role. You know, they will attack and defend, do a bit of everything. We leave them on the default settings, then pop them on cover centre for the same reasons as the right centre mid. And then for the 3 centre backs, we leave them alone, and the keeper, we also leave them alone. But yeah, they're the tactics and instructions. Let's quickly get into a game. And there's one. That was easy enough. Yeah, this formation's overpowered, man. It really is. It's just good in the wide areas and in the narrow areas. So there's not much your opponent can do about it, to be honest. Bang. 2-0. Again, not much you can do about it. Ah, bottled that one. Let's try the old whipped pass strat into Rice. No, it was meant to go to Drogba, but whatever. Ow. Oh my gosh. This Vakir is so good, man. Alright, easy first half, to be honest with you. This formation's just like, it's so automatic. Like, your defenders just do things by themselves. Your attackers are always away. It's just, honestly, really easy. There we go. What a block that was. Wow. Oh my gosh. She is so good, man. Nice. And that will be that. Yep. Okay, nice easy win, guys. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys have enjoyed or found this useful. If you have, please be sure to drop it a thumbs up, sub to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to turn on those notifications. And yeah, with all that aside, guys, hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Take care.